Wondering why is it that we're not innovative enough to move the sector from one form to another? Because SMEs, whether we like it or not, are also the backdrop of every nation. It's the backbone of every nation. It's the backbone of our economy. It's the backbone of great nations. It's how we know that the people are doing well. When small businesses are thriving and doing well, the families get to feed, the family gets to handle their business without relying heavily on the government for the petty support. So, why is it that our SME sector is not thriving like it should? Experts have said this is due to the lack of innovative ideas in this sector. People are comfortable with their way of doing business without thinking outside the box, without thinking of ways of, moving with the times. Now, I want to ask this question. Do you think that the SME sector is suffering because they are not thinking outside the box? Because they are not moving with the times? Well, business experts say many small businesses in Nigeria are not failing because of lack of funding, but rather due to a fear of change and resistance to new ideas. They point out that in today's fast paced digital economy, staying competitive requires more than just passion, it demands adaptability, digital transformation, and a willingness to rethink traditional ways of doing business. Now, experts are calling on entrepreneurs to explore new markets, embrace emerging technologies, and prioritize customer centric strategies. And I think I like that customer centric strategies, where you think about the needs of the customer first and then how to meet those needs. That's what every business needs to think first. Your target goals, the people you want to serve and how best to serve them. Okay, so helping us unpack today's topic is Mr. Kechukuchuku. Good morning, Mr.
Good
Chuku.
morning, Antonia. Good to be with you today.
Always a
Looking
pleasure to have
fantastic.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, you have to blend it as a woman. The
Absolutely.
work and then
The
beauty.
look,
Yes.
absolutely. They go together, beauty and brain.
Exactly, BB.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to the studio
Yeah, the
today.
pleasure is mine.
How do you do? And happy holidays
I'm
to you.
fine. Oh, yeah, holiday.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah, thank
to
you.
our late former president. We
Yeah,
have a holiday.
yeah, yeah. At least providing people the opportunity to rest.
Oh, Mr. Chuku, let's not go there. All right. The
Yeah,
lack of innovation in our SMEs. The world is evolving, and then one will think that people will evolve around it. And by people, we mean the businesses will also evolve around it. But when it comes to our SMEs, small, medium enterprises, they seem stuck in the old ways of doing business, the traditional ways of doing business. They don't think about innovative ways to move their businesses or products or to have a wider reach of customer base. What do you have to say about this?
that may be too generalistic to just lump all of them together and generalize them. First, for perspective, let's
Mm,
understand what is an SME. An SME is like small, medium scale enterprises.
mm,
And what do you mean by small, medium scale enterprises? Of course, there is the EU definition, that's the European Union. But for perspective for Nigeria, a small, now remember the word is SME, small
mm.
and medium
Enterprises.
scale. So you're either small or
Or
you
your
are medium.
medium.
Yeah. So for the small scale enterprises, it is that company that employs between 10 to 49 persons. And the capital base, apart from their building, is usually between 5 to 50 million.
Mm,
That's quite small, not big. I mean, of course, I know as an individual, depending on where you are, if you have that money, it may be big. But if you're doing business, you may realize that 50 million is not much when you consider the things you have to do. Then
mm.
for the medium scale enterprise, the medium scale is that company, that firm that employs between 50 to 199 or 200 persons. The EU definition says less than 250 people,
Yeah.
but in Nigeria we say between 50 to
200.
199 or 200,
Mm,
while the small scale employs between 10 to 50 person. Then the capital for the small scale is usually between 5 million to 50
mm.
million, while for a medium scale is usually between 50 million to 500 million. Or as an official of the Ministry of Commerce, or is it the minister, said some time ago, said 750 um, um, million for medium scale enterprises. Now, with that limited capital base, that in itself is a challenge to growth. There is a level of growth an SME may not attempt until the capital base
It's high.
is raised. Because there are some things you cannot do if you don't have certain amount of finance available to you, resources. And the thing is that SMEs, which is why they should be given focus, record shows that they employ about 84%. I don't know how true that record is, but statistics shows that they employ about 84% of the working population. But whether that record is correct or not, you certainly agree that SMEs employ a high number of people. I mean, if you look all around us, you identify more SMEs. By the time you see 50 businesses, it will be easier to see over 30 or 40 of them that are SMEs than those that are not SMEs. How many companies, using this definition of number of employees, how many companies even employ more than up to 200 people? So if you use the number of employees as a yardstick, you score that quite a number of businesses that you even consider big would fall under SMEs or the medium scale enterprises. And this is because of what they offer to the economy in terms of taking many people off the job market. They may not employ 5,000 people, but like the saying goes, little drops fill the ocean. By the time you take 10%, the other SME take 20, the other one take 50. Cumulatively, they would have employed quite a number of people. So understandably, why SMEs feature very well in development planning and government plans, and all that. But unfortunately, the same government that would give them support, much as they do try to give them support through the various grants and programs they organize, quite a number of the challenges SMEs face are actually from government
policies
and inability to put some things right. For example, we talk about innovation. A guy running his business with 5 million, 10 million, the level of innovation, especially if it's going to be a capital intensive innovation he will embark on, may be limited. And apart from his capital, how much, there are grants everywhere, but quite a number of them may not also know how to access
those grants.
So he's only stuck with that little he has. Then that guy running that small business, that small medium business, if he's assured, for example, the guy running a pure water business, I mean, I'm not talking of the guy selling pure water, but the guy did manufacturing. If he's assured of electricity, the cost of generating energy in a month would be reduced. Maybe just maybe, you may have to spend like, let's say 15,000, 100,000, 200,000 if electricity comes from the organized electric sector. But if he has to become the minister of power, the minister of electricity for himself,
by generating his own electricity,
getting a generator, maybe the bigger size of generator, fueling it alone may take, like, depending on what the power supply is, may take like 5 million or so or more in a month. That's just for one sector. Then maybe the place where his business is located, which was also necessitated by lack of funds, so he had to go to maybe one rural area where there is no road. That means he will have to spend more money fixing his vehicles. He may even have to spend more diesel to transport his product from where it is produced to where the end users are. But if the government has fixed the roads, the frequency of his vehicle breaking down would be reduced. There will be more money left and more money to play about. If he's guaranteed of constant electricity, he probably would make do with electricity coming from, I don't want to mention any of the electric suppliers, but if you're in Port Harcourt, you know who supplies us electricity. If you're outside, depending on where you are, so he will pay less and then save more money and have more money to play around. The money for constantly servicing of his personal um, generating set would be reduced. If government policies are fine, the frequency of being challenged by community boys and all the money that goes with it would be reduced. He'll be contented with paying his tax and maybe, importantly, not just maybe, offering corporate social responsibilities
to his community.
absolutely in the proper way that it should be done. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming to harass him for one levy or the other. Then the issue of double taxation. So you see that from the financial point of view, he's already
Restricted.
Because his running capital is not much. The things he has to spend as compared to his counterpart operating maybe with the same capital in another country, where some of these issues he's facing does not exist. That guy would likely do more and probably have more for innovation than he operating in a country where, like I said, he's probably the Minister of Power and Electricity. He's the Chief Security Officer for himself and for his business. Healthcare for his workers may not be there if he's a kind-hearted person. Of course, at times being kind-hearted may even be tampered with by the resources available to you. But you see, if you have some things working well here, even the healthcare of his workers may not be too much of an issue. It can be handled by an organized system. You have health insurance and
schemes,
where those things are not there, he may be forced from time to time to take care of those things, in spite of whether he's kind of undone, because he needs those guys to be well and healthy for his business to run. And so many other things. I've talked about security and others. So he's already challenged. Then there's also the cultural thing on how Nigeria operates.
And speaking of cultural thing and how Nigeria operates, please hold this thought. Please hold this thought. We're going for a short commercial break, and by short commercial break, we have Mr. Property in the building. So let's let him come inside, and then we'll come back to our discussion. Speaking of small and medium enterprises, Mr. Property, good morning to you.